On to the first trophy final. Stephen Crutchley was the fastest driver in the first qualifying group, faster than the second group headed by Anwar Barul-Smith, so Stephen Crutchley has pole position. Rob Nash and Peter Kay start on row 2, Josh O'Hagan, Sam Fisher on row 3, Peter Mills and Tim Williams on row 4, and Liam Hitchin and Dan French start on row 5. With 4 advancing from the B final, it's 24 drivers on this rolling start. And Stephen Crutchley's dropped the hammer out of the last corner and he's gone for it early. And he's into turn 1 with the lead. Anwar Barul-Smith has to slot in behind Rob Nash in third place and under pressure from Josh O'Hagan. On board with Stephen Billett, you're looking at the back of Paul Williams. Anwar Barul-Smith recovering second place, trying to go through on Rob Nash, pushing him out wide. Will he have the position through the King? Yes, he has. Nash gives him room and loses out to Josh O'Hagan. A run down the curve on the exit and Peter Kay comes through as well. Sam Fisher will be looking to go by. Back on board here with Stephen Billett. That's Stuart Osborne, he's lost a position too. Osborne coming through from the B final. Sweeping through Chapman's. And it looks as though Ben Shaw's just lost out to Lenny Wood. That's 15th place. Coming round to end lap 1. Stephen Crutchley's lead is a handsome 1.7 seconds on Anwar Barul-Smith. Stuart Osborne still holding off Stephen Billett and trying to move on to the bumper of Paul Williams. Williams in 17th place. Out of turn 1, running uphill once again. You're looking at Rob Nash trying to recover a spot from Peter Kay in the red lid. Out of Inkermans. Tim Williams trying to move on to the bumper of Peter Mills, who in turn is trying to find a way past Sam Fisher. Sweeping through Parker, coming down into Chapman's, looking for Russell Ending. There he is, kart 29, second in the championship, only qualified in 14th place, looking to pick up spots. He's currently 11th, he's looking down the inside of Peter Jankowski. Can he get it done? He's pushed him in deep, he's now pushing him out wide. And I'm not too sure if Peter Jankowski will be too pleased with that driving. Off the corner, looking for a penalty and losing a place to kart 78, which is Richard Wade. So Jankowski's got to get back on it, and he is coming up into Christmas. Is he going to throw it down the inside? No, he's not. And now he comes under pressure from Daniel French. Jankowski looks to the inside, can't get it done, and now he's on the nose of Daniel French. Sweeping over to Parker. He's looking for him. French takes a peek and settles on following. Behind him, Roger Mullen. Stephen Crutchley continues to lead ahead of Anwar Barul-Smith and Josh O'Hagan. It's looking fairly settled up front. All the dicing's going on in the midfield. Sam Fisher's picked off Rob Nash, so Sam Fisher moves into the top 5. Peter Mills finds a way through on the entrance to turn 1. You don't see that very often. So Fisher under pressure from Mills. Rob Nash will surely want those positions back, but he may have trouble of his own in the shape of Tim Williams behind. Peter Jankowski's trying to find a way past Liam Hitchin as they run down to Ashby. That's the battle for 9th place. That includes Russell Endine. Well, actually, Endine's dropped them and pulled clear. We're back on board here with Daniel French. Now he's got a chance to throw it down the inside of Jankowski, but thinks better of it. Into the boot section on another lap, coming round to finish lap number 4. Tim Williams in kart 41 is trying to find a way past Rob Nash, who's trying to stay in touch with Peter Mills, who's been dropped by Sam Fisher. Peter Mills in 6th place, Nash in 7th, but for how much longer? Tim Williams has got a run on him, and here comes Russell Endine down the inside of Williams, and he's going to go for Nash as well. Side by side, pushes him out wide, and he's through. And Williams going to get through. Yes, he is, inside of Inkermans. So 2 steps forward for Russell Endine and 1 step back. He was up to 2nd, now he's back to 8th. But Williams is slow off that corner. Roger Mullen runs wide. Endine sticks his nose in. That cloud of dust from Roger Mullen also involved Daniel French, who's lost out to Lenny Wood down at Chapman's. Ben Shaw under pressure from Paul Williams and Stuart Osborne. And that's a penalty board for somebody. Can we guess who it's for? Any sign of an acknowledgement? Oh, there's a hand in the air there by Russell Lendine, although I'm not convinced it was for him. Turning uphill though. Williams runs wide and onto the concrete on the exit of turn 1, and Russell Lendine is in position to strike at Christmas corner, and he's through before the breaking point. Richard Wade is trying to find a way by as well. This will invite in Rob Nash. But your race leader is Stephen Crutchley. His lead is down by 1/10 of a second to 1.3 seconds ahead of Anwar Barul Smith. Sam Fisher still managing to hold off Peter Mills in a fight for 5th place. We're back on board here with Stephen Billett. Stuart Osborne has got past Paul Williams, and Billett now is rubbing sideboards with Paul Williams out at Chapman's, and that's giving a chance to Shane O'Neill to do the pair of them. 78, Richard Wade has got ahead of Tim Williams, and Nash has got a chance down the inside the last corner. Fortunately, Williams has got an acre of concrete on the exit of that corner. Sam Fisher remains under pressure from Peter Mills, and Russell Lendine's on a mission down the inside, and side by side with Fisher. He nearly gets the pair of them into Christmas corner. He has still got Peter Mills done, who's under pressure, and Richard Wade, who's coming down the inside and doing what Russell Lendine has just done to Sam Fisher. Whoa, Tim Williams sideways running down the edge of the curb there. He'll be slow off that corner, but he still managed to stay ahead of Liam Hitchin. Wade runs wide, Williams follows him, and Liam Hitchin's trying to go round the outside, which will be the inside for the boot section. On Tim Williams, can't get it done. Williams a difficult man to pass. Rob Nash sticks his nose in but can't get it done. Anwar Barul Smith, another fastest lap, but it's only 0.03 of a second faster than Stephen Crutchley. So the lead is still 1.3 seconds. Josh O'Hagan is falling away to 2.3 seconds off the lead. He's 1/10 or 2 slower than the 2 ahead of him. Dan French coming up to Christmas corner behind Ben Shaw, cart number 11. Ben Shaw now up to 14th place, and French appears to be under pressure from Stuart Osborne. Tim Williams coming in sideways, trying to find a way past Richard Wade. Looks spectacular, it's not quick. And round the outside, Liam Hitchin is prepared to chance it, to get a position. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Liam Hitchin moves into 9th place. Tim Williams under pressure now, down in 10th, with Rob Nash and Peter Jankowski. Jankowski down the inside of Rob Nash to pick up 11th. But he's given Nash a chance to get him on the exit, and he goes back through. So Rob Nash stays in 11th place, and Lenny Wood is closing in. He's the leading super heavyweight, looking to pick up another trophy. Up to Christmas corner, and we're moving into the last third of the race now. We're on lap 9 of 14. There's your race leader, Stephen Crutchley. His lead remains at 1.3 seconds. Josh O'Hagan now is over 3 seconds off the lead, losing about 1/10 per lap, Josh O'Hagan, but he's got a handsome advantage over Peter Kay in 4th place. He's nearly 7 seconds off the lead. Behind him, Russell Lendine is closing in, and I think he'll catch him before the finish. Peter Jankowski staying ahead of Lenny Wood, but only just. Stuart Osborne ahead of Daniel French. So Osborne, coming through from the B final, is now up to 15th place. We're on board with Ben Shaw, trying to close on Lenny Wood. Uphill to Christmas corner, he's got it down a half a cart length or so. Through Winkerman's, setting up for Ashby. Brake, turn right. Careful with the curb on the exit. You've got to take some curb on the exit, but not too much. Shaw closing in through Chapman's. The battle between Stephen Billett and Paul Williams continues to be a bit of knockabout. They've been banging side pods and wheels through most of this final. Graham Link ahead of Stephen Billett in 19th place. And that's probably a contact or curb warning for that group. Probably Williams and for Stephen Billett. Russell Endine has caught up with Peter Kay. This is lap 11 of 14. I think Peter Kay's got a fight on his hand. Paul Williams once again goes through on Stephen Billett. Ben Shaw is lining up Lenny Wood for Parker. Can he get it done? Oh, the gap begins to close. How about Chapman's? Wood turns in, gives himself half a kart width. Battle for fourth place. Peter Kay under pressure as we come round to start their lap 12. It's not going to be into turn one. I think it could be into Christmas. Russell Endine looking for fourth place. He's got drive out the corner. And I think I almost saw Peter Kay point him through there. Down the inside into Christmas corner. Lenny Wood coming up to Christmas corner with Ben Shaw, Stuart Osborne and a recovering Daniel French. Trying to get on his bumper. Trying to find a way by. Lenny Wood in 13th place. Misses his apex at Ashby. A chance then for Shaw. Can he throw it down the inside into Parker? He's looking for it. Oh, there's contact. Ben Shaw backs off and Stuart Osborne goes through and he loses out to Dan French. Lenny Wood stays in 13th place and Ben Shaw's going to lose out here to kart number 8, which is David Vorton. So Vorton moves up to 16th. On to lap 13. Stephen Crutchley's lead is now under 1.3 seconds, but only just. It's just a fraction that Anwar Barul-Smith's pulled back on that last lap. Shane O'Neill coming through, running through in 18th place, making progress off the back of the grid. Osborne trying to close on Lenny Wood. There's your race leader, Stephen Crutchley. Anwar Barul-Smith, Josh O'Hagan now at 4.3 seconds. Russell Endine coming through, 9.9 seconds off the lead in fourth place, dropping Peter Kay, who's coming under pressure from Sam Fisher. Coming round to start the final lap. The leaders have already gone through. I think the podium steps are decided. It would take quite a mistake now from one of them to lose a position. Ben Shaw trying to close back in and pick up some of the ground that he lost. Sam Fisher getting closer, but not close enough or quick enough. He might be on his bumper out the last corner, but that won't be good enough. Russell Endine in fourth place. It looks as though it's going to take a mistake now from Peter Kay not to finish in fifth place. Stephen Crutchley got the jump at the start. He's been pushed all the way by Anwar Barul-Smith, but from a distance. It's a second win of the season for Stephen Crutchley and a 9th podium of the season for Anwar Barul-Smith in second. While a first podium for Josh O'Hagan finishing third, Russell Endine must settle for fourth place.
Top three then, to go on the podium. 124 points to third place goes to driver number 2, Josh O'Hagan. And to our runner-up in the final, number 1. And he's started on grid 2, finishing runner-up. Driver number 36, Anwar Barul-Smith. And to our race winner, though, fastest lap of 53.75. Started pole position, and obviously fastest in qualifying. Proved that in the race as well with that fastest lap. Won by just by 1.2 seconds. And congratulations, your race winner for final number 1. Driver number 60, Stephen Crutchley. And I'm missing out on one trophy there.
It's no surprise to see that Final 1 winner Stephen Crutchley also set the fastest lap in the first final, so has pole position ahead, no surprise either, of Anwar Barul-Smith. Richard Wade finished 8th in Final 1, but must have knocked in a stellar lap to qualify in 3rd for this final. Josh O'Hagan joins him on row 2, Russell Endine and Peter Mills on row 3, Liam Hitchin and Peter Jankowski on row 4, Rob Nash is joined by John Muscroft, and remember he came through from the first B final and now starts his second A final in 10th place. It's a much slower run up to this second final start. Stephen Crutchley drops the hammer much later, and it's side by side with Anwar Barul-Smith into turn 1. He's through the lead, but he's got Barul-Smith on his bumper. Coming uphill for the first time. Richard Wade is in third place ahead of Josh O'Hagan, but Russell Endine's down the inside. Sam Fisher pushing through on Rob Nash. On board momentarily with half a dozen cameras. And Peter Mills is looking to go down the inside of Josh O'Hagan for fifth place. O'Hagan over the curb. A chance maybe for Hitchin to go round the outside of Mills. Peter Jankowski in there again. Jankowski and Hitchin looking very similarly dressed. And it's Hitchin off the road, pushed there. Well, I don't think you could really blame Josh O'Hagan. He had two people pushing him into the boot section. Oh, and John Muscroft's gone round. Helped around, I would say. It's Crutchley leading Barul Smith into turn 1 on lap 2. Barul Smith looking for the lead. He's got to run out of turn 1. And I think Crutchley knows the game's up. Barul Smith is in the lead. Now Crutchley will need to follow him. Richard Wade is having a great showing in third place. Paul Williams coming for a long way back on Ben Shaw. Has he made it work? Well, he doesn't deserve to. That was a rather speculative one for 15th place. Indeed it hasn't. They're rubbing side pods out of Ashby. Into Parker, round the outside. This time it works. That was a good move at the end there. And Stephen Crutchley wants the lead back. Conscious not to let Anwar Barul Smith get away, because there'll be no catching him if he does. Penalty boards out at start-finish. It's 79 Andy Morgan and 15 Paul Williams. Well, I think we probably saw the manoeuvre that got Paul Williams that penalty. Richard Wade down the inside of Stephen Crutchley at Christmas. What a good move. And around the outside, Russell Endine picks up third place. Well, Richard Wade here, something of a revelation. A new boy in heavyweights. Down through Parker, Russell Endine using all the roads, some curb and some grass as well. Pushing hard, trying to minimise the damage to Anwar Barul Smith. On board here with Stephen Billett, Rob Nash, contact there. I think that's with Peter Jankowski. Sam Fisher runs him out wide, and there's another penalty board. Barul Smith sets another one. And 22 is Liam Hitchin, so he picks up a penalty. Where's Hitchin? There he is. Behind him, Dan French. Russell Endine moving on to Richard Wade. Trying to get another step on the podium. Oh, all locked up down at Ashby. There's a little bit of contact. Fortunately, Richard Wade keeps it pointed in the right direction. Stephen Crutchley trying to go round the outside of Russell Endine. That tyre bundle has been there all day. It's only been hit once, I can remember. Josh O'Hagan, kart number 2, down in this dice for the lower half of the top 10. Rob Nash inside of Peter Mills at the side of the shot there. He gets it done. Fairly agricultural, but he's through. Peter Mills comes across in 5th place ahead of Peter Jankowski, Sam Fisher. Oh, Tim Williams was looking there in the middle of turn 1. He's got it done though. He's gone past Sam Fisher, and Josh O'Hagan got on his bumper. Whoa, Rob Nash coming in late and hard on Sam Fisher. So it looks as though Rob Nash has pulled the pin out and is going for everything that could be on. So Peter Mills comes round in 5th place ahead of Jankowski, Williams. We ride on board with Dan Fisher. We're looking at Liam Hitchin. So Mills in 5th, Jankowski, Williams, Josh O'Hagan, Rob Nash, Sam Fisher, Stuart Osborne. Remember, Osborne's come through from the B final, and he now runs in the top 10 of the A final. Williams out wide and over the concrete. I remember when that was just a muddy patch. That kind of driving would have put you in the tyres. Back on board with French, closing in on Hitchin. Remember, Hitchin's got a penalty, as has Paul Williams, so that's not really a position lost, but it will be somebody he'll have to overtake to try and make progress. I think Peter Kay's got a run on him and gone round him as well, so looks as though Dan French has got some kind of problem. Richard Wade holding off Russell Endine and Stephen Crutchley. That looked like more than one move. It's let Crutchley get through to third place. Oh, more contact, O'Hagan and Nash. Well, if you're going to get your elbows out, that's the kind of thing you'll get back in return. Sam Fisher and Josh O'Hagan move ahead of Rob Nash. Up at Christmas, Crutchley trying to get on the bumper once again of Russell Endine. Endine trying to find a way past Richard Wade. Off Ashby, Wade takes a look. Feints a change of direction to try and put Endine off into Parker. Endine getting a better run out of Chapman's. That might be a move into the toe of the boot. Mills still under pressure from Jankowski, although it looks as though Jankowski's just happy to follow. I don't suppose Tim Williams will be. No Sam Fisher. Well, we're deep into the second half of this second final. Richard Wade leads out this battle for second place. Endine comes in late and hard, runs him out wide, gives him room at the kink. Has he got inside of Inkerman's? Yes, he has. Well, second place is Russell Endine's now. Anwar Barul-Smith's lead is 3.7 seconds. Richard Wade trying to hold off Stephen Crutchley to keep a step on the podium. Crutchley down the inside. I think it looks as though Wade tried to close the door and Crutchley was already there. Now Crutchley's not making it any easier, and let's face it, Wade didn't make it easy for him. Mills has pulled out a couple of kart lengths, but it's now on Tim Williams, who's seen enough and has moved past Peter Jankowski. Round the pit bend once again, and it looks as though that's another contact warning for that group. Richard Wade trying to get back on the podium now, looking to the inside up to Christmas corner. It's a good clean move from Wade and he's through. Look at the ground that they're losing on Russell Endine. They're fighting over the last step of the podium now. Josh O'Hagan still ahead just of Rob Nash. This is the fight for 9th place. Stuart Osborne tagging on to the back of this group in 11th. He'd love to finish in the top 10. It might keep him in the top 10 in the championship. Into the boot section. What's this? This must be about a group of 10 drivers. If you look, run it all the way back to Ben Shaw. So Mills in 5th. Williams, Jankowski, Fisher, O'Hagan, Rob Nash in 10th. Stuart Osborne, Paul Williams, Peter Kay and Ben Shaw in 14th. Nobody's been able to get close enough to Peter Mills to throw a move into him so far. Everybody needs a good couple of corners and then a good old lunge down the inside of one of them. Nash makes the first mistake and loses out to Osborne, and probably will lose out to Williams if he's not careful. Tim Williams a bit sideways there in the middle of the boot section, giving Jankowski a chance at the last corner. Williams gives himself some room, and that might give Sam Fisher a run round Peter Jankowski into turn 1. Not quite there. Who's going to do the turn 1 exit the best? It looks as though it's Fisher. He's looking for a way past Peter Jankowski, who goes narrow into Christmas, and it begins to kick off. Josh O'Hagan, Rob Nash side by side, Stuart Osborne and Paul Williams side by side. O'Hagan gives Nash room through Inkermans, and Williams is down the inside of Osborne. Oh, and he comes in. I don't think he meant to take out Josh O'Hagan, but that's precisely what he's done. Peter Kay ahead of Ben Shaw. Everybody moves up 2 places back here. Peter Mills continues to hang on to 5th place ahead of Tim Williams and Peter Jankowski. I haven't seen Tim Williams make a serious attempt to pass yet, so Peter Mills continues to do something right. all the road and a bit more on the exit of the last corner. Now Williams is in position to strike. Has he got the top end to throw it down the inside? I'm sure he'll go for it if he has. He's side by side and he's going through. Goes in narrow, goes in deep, has to square it off, and that gives Peter Mills a chance. Will Williams give him room? Oh, into the Inkerman's corner. Well, not really. Oh, hands in the air there. Peter Jankowski's gone through anyway. Presumably that was for O'Hagan and Paul Williams being restarted. I can see Nicky Richardson in the background there. It looks as though he's debating whether or not that's a penalty for overtaking under yellow. Blue flag out. Penalty board there again. That must be for Paul Williams. Yes, 15. So that's 2 penalties he's had in this final. I'm pretty sure that's an exclusion. The race leaders are already through start-finish. Anwar Barul Smith is 7.2 seconds clear of Russell Endine in second place. Stephen Crutchley has got a fight on his hand with Richard Wade over third place. He's just on his bumper. Up to Christmas Corner, which is the next battle here. Tim Williams in 5th place ahead of Peter Jankowski. Peter Mills now down in 7th place. Sam Fisher, Rob Nash, Stuart Osborne in 10th. Crutchley and Wade go through. O'Hagan, of course, has been off the road, a victim of Paul Williams. Briefly back on board with Ben Shaw behind Peter Kay. Peter Kay is in 11th place. The final lap board is out. There's Russell Endine in 2nd place. Crutchley has got a few kart lengths on Richard Wade, and that ought to be enough, I think, to see him through to the finish, unless he makes a mistake. Sam Fisher behind Peter Mills once again. Is he going to throw it down the inside? Hands in the air here, up at Christmas Corner. Somebody's been off. It's Lenny Wood being restarted. Well, Anwar Barul Smith is closing to put a lap on Paul Williams. He can coast to the finish, though. His advantage is 7.2 seconds. It's going to be a 6th win of the season for ABS. Russell Endine keeps him honest, and the deficit down to just 14 points with 2nd place. Stephen Crutchley's going to have another podium. He's currently 12th in the championship after missing the opening round. Scores he'll have to drop. 260 points up for grabs at each round, and looking with Sam Fisher as dark horses in the overall championship and a clear threat to Rob Nash's 3rd place in the championship. We now head back to the venue of the opening round, Bunmore Park, for the next round in 4 weeks' time.
Third in the end, in final 2. Driver number 60, Stephen Crutchley. And to our runner-up then, this driver, outstanding driving, and he started in 5th position and finished a runner-up. And congratulations, your runner-up in this one was driver number 29, Russell Endine. He started on grid 2, he got fastest lap as well, 53.68 in this race. Winner of heavyweight sprint A, final number 2. Congratulations, driver 36, Anwar Barul Smith. There we go, 1st and 2nd trophies shared by those 2 drivers, and well done Russell as well. Round of applause for those.